Welcome to the Dirty Side of Leadership podcast with Ron and Kristin, where leadership meets entertainment. This podcast features stories with names and certain aspects that have been changed to keep submissions private. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back to the Dirty Side of Leadership podcast, where leadership meets entertainment. And today meets Christmas. I'm Kristin Sokoloff here with my co-host, as always, Ron Ward, and we are doing something a little different today.
That's right. No guest today, no heavy neuroscience breakdowns, just Kristin and me. What's your name again? Kristin and me asking each other Christmas-related questions. Some are fun, some are reflective, and some might surprise us. So we hope you enjoy this.
Yes, absolutely. Man, I wish we would have recorded our conversation before we jumped on, Ron.
I do.
There's always golden nuggets in there.
Well, I showed Kristin. I didn't know she was the same way, but I work at home. I was doing coaching all day, so I'm dressed up nice at top, but I got pajamas on. So I told her it was business in the top, party in the bottom.
Yeah, and then I was like, me too. I'm literally wearing my sweatpants on the bottom. So
there you go. That's how the sausage is made.
Exactly. All right, so today's conversation, the goal here is a holiday conversation with a little dirty side mixed in, as always. We're going to start with fun Christmas questions. Keep it light, right? I'm going to start asking you a few questions, Ron. And I want to know what your favorite Christmas movie of all time is, and of course, why.
This has grown on me more and more, but it's The Christmas Story, the one that was filmed, Ralphie, in like 1983. Now, I have several that are on my list, but if I have to pick one, I end up watching that one every year. I think the acting was brilliant. The writing was brilliant. The kids were great. Every time I watch it, I have a greater appreciation. And by the way, Ralphie did a sequel. Did you know that?
Yes. Actually, I just watched that with the kids. I was going to ask you if you knew that. That's awesome.
I've got to finish it, but I think I would do that. I have to ask some of these back to you. Come on. So what's your favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, I'm going to have to go with National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I kind of go between that and Elf, but that one is just my favorite. And I would say the why is there's so many humor nuggets within. Like I've probably seen it 50 times, and my entire family, we gather around. I'm talking like my mom, my dad, my sister, all of that. And we laugh and laugh just like we've seen it for the first time. And it's really because we notice new funny things that we didn't notice the first 50 times.
No, it's true. I love that. I love when there's those nuggets. And,
yes, seriously. Or, I also think it's like your humor changes as you mature, right? Like certain things that you might not have thought were funny 25 years ago are funny now. Maybe because it's relatable. Like there's different reasons that your humor can change. So something might not have resonated with you the first 50 times, but it does now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I've got another one for you.
Okay, lay it on
me. Are
me.
you a Christmas music guy, or are you wanting to turn it off by December 10th?
Okay, you said we evolve as we age. And so, yes, I'm a Christmas music guy. I put Christmas music on when I was decorating the tree and all that. I mean, I don't want to listen to it 24/7, but I will tell you something. I worked with someone who was probably borderline narcissist and ended up losing their job. And I remember when I first started working with this person, there's a station, a 102.5 thing in Charleston that starts playing Christmas music 24/7 at about November 20th or something.
Yep.
So I remember him complaining. And I thought to myself, this guy's a jerk. You got all these other radio stations, just change the dial,
Yeah.
And so I thought that kind of said a lot about him, that's his complaint that there's Christmas music, God forbid.
Yeah.
So I say bring it on.
Yeah, I like that. And, it's interesting. We have a grocery store chain around here. It's just in Oregon. It's called New Seasons. And it's kind of like a Whole Foods, but just local. So as you can imagine, it's a little bit woke. And they don't play Christmas music, okay? So the woman in front of me at the grocery store when I was checking out there, apparently she whispered something to the checker. I didn't hear what it was. And then the checker tells me, she's like, she just whispered to me, "Thank you for not playing Christmas music."
Oh,
yeah.
They told the wrong person.
I know. And I was like, that she probably has a trauma in her past. And she was like, oh, yeah, probably. Because I'm just like, I like it, but, I understand certain people. And so that's a piece of it too, right? If someone had somebody, pass away right around this time, or maybe a divorce, right? There's different things that could put a bad taste in their mouth for the Christmas music. So I understand that, but it's
it's probably deeper.
Yeah.
I'd like to take a quick break from the podcast to wish our listeners a Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Absolutely, right? Well, here, I just have to say, here in Portland, we have had the Christmas tree lighting for decades, and this is the first year that they decided to just call it the tree lighting, right? So they're wiping Christmas. It's like, don't have a tree then, right? Like and they did it here. I live in Happy Valley, Oregon, so it's a little suburb outside of Portland. They did the same thing. They did the tree lighting instead of the Christmas tree lighting this year. So they really are wiping God out of the equation as rapidly as they can. So I appreciate that. Merry Christmas, Ron. Speaking of trees, real tree or fake tree? And don't dodge the question.
Some of this is not being evolved. It's like just not having the resources. So I keep the fake tree with the lights. I got 2 trees though, but I keep it up in the attic and I put it up. But I don't have really a way to get a real tree. If I had a pickup truck, maybe.
Yeah.
So it's fake tree for me out of sheer laziness. Thank you.
Well, I have a fake tree too. Actually, I have so my house is a little crazy. I have 5 trees in my house. So each of the kids have one in their bedroom.
Oh
we have one upstairs. I have one in the main room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, I have 6. They're, some of them are smaller, some of them are skinny trees, but they're all fakes. So I'm not gonna shame you for the fake tree, Ron.
Okay, good.
I grew up on real trees, but those are messy, and I married a New Yorker. It's just not gonna happen.
I like my trees like I like my women. Fake. All right. If you've never listened to us before, hang on.
Hey.
Kristin,
My goodness.
I was looking at our analytics, and we got a lot of people in Europe and various parts of the world. But the number one country that listens to us besides the United States is Germany. Mm-hmm. I would love to hear from some of you guys about your Christmas traditions, Christmas celebrations. Wouldn't that be awesome, Kristin?
Yes, it would.
So if you're listening in one of those countries, it doesn't have to be Europe, but I'm saying let us know. What's your thoughts on this?
That's really cool also because I've been studying Queen Victoria, and she married her first cousin Prince Albert, who was from Germany, and Christmas was very important to him and the German Christmas traditions that he brought in. So it was really cool. So I'm literally just now learning about that, and it does seem like I know they have wonderful Christmas markets and just really cool things. So that would be incredible to hear from Germans on that. But like you said, Germans aren't the only ones. Feel free. We want to hear all your traditions. All right, Ron, what's one Christmas tradition from your childhood that still sticks with you?
I always liked in childhood, we would go to my grandmother's, God rest her soul. And my mom had 10 brothers and sisters, I think. Wow. At that point, 9. So that was all fun because the kids are playing, and I had some cousins that I liked a lot. So that was really cool. But the other Christmas tradition is my dad made you wait until Christmas morning. And it was...
For what, the gifts? Or
the gifts, I'm sorry.
Okay.
The gifts.
Yeah, no, we do that too. I make them wait.
And occasionally, because I would drive them absolutely bonkers, they would let me open one gift on Christmas Eve.
Nice.
But my mom would always get mad at my dad because guess who's beside their bed at 6 a.m.?
Oh, yeah. Pulling their eyeballs open.
Oh, I was
Eyelids,
absolutely like, Dad, it's Christmas morning. It's morning. Let's go. And so I think that now I appreciate it so much more than I did then. But what about you? What's a Christmas tradition from your childhood that sticks with you?
Well, I actually already touched on it, and it's the movie Christmas Vacation. Like literally we watched it every year. Once it became appropriate. I think maybe when I was 13 we started watching it. But every single year, and now we do it with my kids too. So I think just gathering around as a family and laughing together.
I love it.
Yeah. Humor is a big thing.
let me give you another one here.
Okay.
What's your go-to Christmas? Now, we know you're a chef, Kristen, if you've been listening for a while, but what's your go-to Christmas comfort food?
Comfort food. So like just snacking on something, or what do I usually cook?
I think so. Well, give us both. What the heck?
You know, oh my gosh, I just blanked on the name. My husband's having me make this for the third time. What is that where you have that really nice piece of beef and then you wrap it around in
Beef Wellington.
Beef Wellington. Yes, I'm making that this year for the third time.
Wow.
I can never remember the name of that. Seriously, every year
you sent me a
forget
picture last year. I remember it looked amazing.
Yeah.
I thought you were
So
going to say
now-
baklava. I thought we were talking dessert, but go ahead.
I know. I should say something more dessert.
Beef
you know
Wellington.
Beef Wellington. Okay, so that's what I make for my family, and that's like a newer thing. But go to Christmas comfort food. I should have that. Like literally, I would say one of my favorite things ever is those. This is so cheesy, but those popcorn tins that have all 3 different types of popcorn.
Yeah.
Like there's the caramel, the cheese, and the butter. I am a popcorn freak, so I love that. And there's this great chocolate shop down the way, and they have this really bougie popcorn. So I get that every year now. So that would be it.
We used to get the big metal bucket.
Well, yeah. Those are great.
I mean, as a Christmas gift, so we would open it like the night before with the movie.
Oh, you would get it like as a kid?
Yeah, it would have a
I
bow
love
on
that.
top of it.
How fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Ask
good
me
stuff.
my comfort
Yeah,
food.
yeah, I know. I'm dying to know. What about you?
Actually, it's really odd, but I love charcuterie. Like, we would always have that on Christmas Eve. And for me, hors d'oeuvre snack food is my favorite meal.
Yeah.
Kind of. So we always had that at my mom's on Christmas Eve, and I love that.
Nice. Yes, that is so good, too. I always have to have a charcuterie on hand.
Let's skip the next question.
I think all right, I was going to ask Ron.
It's to you. It's my
you're
turn.
asking me? Oh,
Yes.
yeah, I forgot about that. Okay.
Thank goodness. Let me get a drink of water.
Oh, my goodness.
You almost got
As it
strangled.
goes down the wrong pipe.
All right. Early shopper or last minute panic buyer?
No, I'm definitely an early shopper. I was
I
almost
knew
done
it.
before December started. But I know it's funny because the reason Ron doesn't want to answer this is you were just telling me that you have a pile of Amazon boxes.
Well, keep
and
in
you
mind,
haven't
before
dove into.
Amazon, I would be out Christmas Eve sweating, fighting crowds
my
of people.
gosh.
It would be
Crowds of men.
life. Yeah, probably
Let's
true.
be honest.
Probably true. And you know, the weird thing is I'm punctual on most everything, but something that's way out of my element, picking out gifts.
Yeah.
So now I hate to say this, it's very easy. My daughters send me their list.
Yeah.
And I do that. And I also found out there's just very little that cash can't buy. So I throw some quibs in there, you know, and my girls are happy. Gift cards. I was getting ready to name another gift, but I can't because this podcast will come out before Christmas. But I did order.
Oh my gosh.
I did get a couple creative things. Kristen, you'd be proud.
Yeah, I love that. Well, you know, something that I'm really into is the stocking stuffers. And I go nuts on stocking stuffers to where like all of the real estate is taken. So I'm filling them up because it's just so fun because that's where you can get your thoughtful ideas, right? That's funny. I usually buy humorous ones. But anyways, big stocking stuffer gal.
It's just me and my youngest daughter. We live here, and I couldn't find my stocking, so it looks sad in there. There's one stocking hanging.
And you have a tube sock?
It's hers. It's a tube sock. Well, it's been a rough year. I had to go with an athletic sock that cuts off at the ankle.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, man. That's hilarious.
No, but I do like to put stuff in there. But see, I don't know the beauty products, so I go with traditional stuff, you know, toothpaste, toothbrushes, those kind of things, razors.
Hey.
But anyway, you got to do what you got to do.
They're necessary. Yeah, exactly. All right, light. Oh, I keep wanting to steal your thunder, Ron. I'm so sorry.
Are you a lights outside, tasteful, or a full Clark Griswold?
You know, the older I get, the more I'm like all about it. Just like go Clark Griswold on it. But yeah, I used to be more like tasteful, keep it really clean and keep maybe white lights, right? But now I'm just getting like, hey, you know what? Let's just make it fun. So I'm changing, but I definitely, until these last few years, used to be more of a keep it tasteful gal. Now I'm like, just let's full white trash it up. Make the kids smile, you know?
So I'll go ahead and answer this. I know you're going to ask it. So I used to, when the kids were small, put lights outside, and it was a nightmare for me, by the way. I wasn't good at it, and but I did it. But now I don't do lights outside, but inside, Jansen, my youngest, laughs at me a little because I've got this little town, and I've got these little red LED lights that I hide under the cotton that's for the snow, and it's really cool. And then I've got the garland running up the steps with lights, 2 trees. Although the one tree I pulled out of the box, and it had injuries, and it looks like it had a rough year, but I put it up anyway. I straightened it out as much as I can.
That's hilarious.
But there's something about, and I'm sure everyone feels this way. We'd love to hear from you on that, but those lights are so comforting to me, those Christmas lights. So I never turn them off. Now that they have LED, they don't get hot. So I leave those on, the 2 trees, but it's just very comforting. And I always dread to take them down. And I'm house hunting, so this year I may just put them in storage. And,
right. Yeah.
Because I'm trying to downsize as we speak. All right.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like it, Ron.
You've told us a couple times that you counted gifts with your sister, which speaks a lot about you, but...
Oh, not with. She wasn't as petty.
You counted her gifts versus your gifts. Okay.
Yeah, I tallied.
One Christmas gift you'll never forget receiving, good or bad.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to go bad on this one because a few years ago I did the good one. This was, so my dad's parents, they were like in Seinfeld, like George Costanza's parents. Okay. So literally. So my grandma and grandpa, they sent, my grandma, she sent the craziest stuff. And this one year was extra crazy. It was one of her last years, but it was like a doll head. Here I am. I was like 20. But she sent like this doll head. And it was so odd. It was like it wasn't like she ripped the head off of it. It was just made that way. And then she sent me a polyester tracksuit. And so just to be
extra. You have
extra,
a picture we could flash.
Oh my gosh, my mom does have it somewhere. I'll have to find it because my mom was like, even though we were like, I was older, my sister was 15. My mom was like, put them on. We're taking a picture and sending it to her. And I was like, oh my gosh.
I love it.
Horrible. So yeah, that was a bad one. But it's also like you look back, you're like, I kind of miss those crazy gifts that smelled like mothballs.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you, Ron?
Kristin, of course, I'm going to have to go positive to offset you. No, there is no competition. They used to make these race car sets, and I can't think of the name. It's not Hot Wheels. It was something else, and they're electric. You had an actuator, and you would pull the trigger, and the harder you pull, the faster it goes. So you could literally just go off the track. We will use one neuroscience part of this podcast. I was loaded with dopamine, and I did something terrible. I remember feeling guilty, but there was a box, and of course I thought it was the racetrack, but I had to know. So me and my uncle, who was only 3 years older than me, were in there using a pencil, trying to pull the tape. We went to the ends of the earth to get enough of a peek in there that I could see that it was a race car set. And I felt really bad because I knew I had to act surprised the next morning.
Oh, yeah.
My dad was there. But I got those probably 3 years in a row. I still remember one car was always faster, but one year we ordered a car to go with it, like a supplemental car. And it ended up being faster than the fast one.
Oh, my gosh.
But I'm not kidding.
Sounds awesome.
I thought that was the greatest gift of all time, and there's nothing close to that.
Oh, my gosh. How cool. I love that. And how many years ago was that? Or how old were you?
I don't know exactly, but that was probably been a 6, 7, 8-year-old gift, something like that.
Wow.
And by the way, there was no second, even a bicycle and all that. I wanted to make sure I got that race car set. That's what I call it.
Yeah, I love it. That is really cool. It's so fun reflecting on things like that. And then you think about who gave it to you, and then you can visualize the people around you. And it's just really important that we hold on to the nostalgia.
One quick side note that's not in here, Kristin, I just thought of. Did you believe in Santa? And if what age did you quit believing in Santa? Or you do know there's not a Santa, right?
I do now. Okay. No, this is almost embarrassing because I think I believed in Santa until I was
15.
11. And then I totally didn't believe in him anymore. And then my dad did this amazing trickery. And he was it made me believe in this German Santa Claus. and did all of this crazy, went like over the top to like bring in all these like German things. And I was like, wait, maybe.
Maybe
So
I was
here
wrong.
I was like 12. I'm like, no, really? Maybe, no, you know, so yeah, a little too late probably, but 11, 12, I'll have to say.
I do remember I had an upstairs you could crawl out the window and get on the roof. And I remember,
cool.
again, me and a friend getting on the roof looking for Santa's sleigh. And my parents to this day does not know we would get on the roof when I was 7 or 8 years old.
Oh, my God.
Although I fell off one building, but that's another story.
Oh, jeez.
But we would be looking. But I was young when I realized I hung out with too many older guys in my neighborhood, and they ruined everything. So they kept telling me, listen, you idiot, there's no Santa. So I finally had to act cool, like, yeah, there's no Santa.
Yeah.
Even though I probably still looked for him a little bit, but.
That's amazing. Yeah, I really don't. You know what's weird is because I rode the bus with older kids and hung out with older kids in the neighborhood, I don't remember someone being like, you know, there's no Santa, right? Like, I just don't remember that happening. Or maybe I was like, whatever, I don't believe you. You know, who knows? Oh, my goodness. All right, we're going to get into Christmas and personality.
No, wait a minute.
And
I got to ask you one more.
Okay.
We got to go into this because I know people are thinking about it.
Okay.
What stresses you out most about the holidays?
Oh, okay. You know, this particular December has been incredibly busy. I am, now that I don't work in corporate, I definitely enjoy a slower paced life. And I would say for me, it's feeling like I need to be everything for everyone, right? And so, and I do put a lot of pressure on myself, I will say. Like, I make sure to get a gift for the Taekwondo instructor, the tennis instructor, right? The art teacher. Like, literally, it's important to me to do that for everybody, but it does put an added stress on me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's just doing too many things that just burns me out. What about you?
I do get a little stressed. I wanted to touch on the 5 love languages, the affirmation, quality time, acts of service, receiving gifts, physical touch. So for me, I like acts of service, but I do get a little stressed. You know, I think Christmas is too commercialized, and that bothers me. But the stress that I get is it's overwhelming. Like, I get overstimulated, I think.
Yeah.
There's just so many gifts. And see, I've got all those Amazon boxes in there, but now I got to go through them and put in bags and figure out who, you know, what belongs to who and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. And by the way, if I wrap the gift, it's very depressing for the recipient, or they feel sorry for me.
I'm imagining tape everywhere.
What I'm saying is, Kristin, like, receiving gifts is not one of my love languages. I probably like words of affirmation or something. So I know that, like, my daughters are going to spend money on me, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. They could take me for ice cream. I don't care. Like, receiving gifts is just not a love language, but I can't get that across to them. So I know they're spending money, you know, on me that I wish they wouldn't. And my mother's the exact same way. She's like, don't send us gifts because we're not going to get to see them this year. They're in Virginia. Yeah. So she was like, don't send us gifts. Let me ask you one more, since we're on behavior here. Do you think Christmas brings out people's best selves, or maybe their worst? Or what does it exhibit on Christmas? Yeah.
I would say that any gaps that exist are brought to the surface. So you definitely see, like a lot of my friends, they love Christmas. They like bring it, like they're already wearing this, you know, the Christmas sweaters the beginning of December. And so, and that brings out this person, you know, maybe the joy and happiness that this person has. But I do know people, none of my close friends are really this way, but I know people that are very bah humbug, right?
Yeah.
And that definitely, just that negativity comes out. And I think it can drive a wedge, because like someone like maybe like me, I don't really want to be around a bah humbug right now, right? So yeah, right. That negativity, it's cancerous, and so people will stay away, even though there's maybe a deep rooted issue like we talked about earlier that makes them that way.
Sometimes there's some liquid spirits and things that enhance
whatever
they're feeling.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah,
bit.
that's true. That is true.
Kristin, as a quick side note, we talked about early childhood traditions, but I don't talk about this a lot, but Haley was in the bad car accident in 2016. So every year we run a 5K, and it's this Saturday. And we're celebrating her recovery. She came home in a wheelchair, and
Wow.
she called me. She wasn't supposed to be able to jog until December, called me in like September, October, and was already jogging. So
Wow.
last
That's
year she was
awesome.
pregnant, so we did have to skip. But she and I are going to be live Saturday, so I did
That's
run earlier
amazing.
today, but I haven't been running like I did in times past. So,
Yeah.
but I'm going to be there with bells on.
It's rough on your joints, Ron, but hey,
But
I like the
honestly-
reason behind it.
Honestly, Kristin, that's why I hadn't run it as much. My
Yeah.
lower back had been bothering me, but
Yeah.
I'm doing good right now. So
Well, good. I'm
gonna
happy
do
to
it.
hear it.
I'm gonna
I
do
like
it.
I like what, the motivation behind it.
It
I think
is.
that's great. That's awesome. I'm curious, like, do you generally, I mentioned that I like to slow down. Generally, I like to. This month has just not happened. Slow down during Christmas. So do you prefer to slow down in the month of December, or do you struggle to unplug? I think I know the answer to this.
Yeah, I struggle. You know that.
Yeah.
And I'm arm candy, so I've been going to a lot of Christmas. I'm here to make Kristin laugh.
I love it. I love it.
I did go to more Christmas gatherings and homes and places than I ever have this year.
Wow.
I've been
All
to something
right.
over and over and over. So that's been kind of different. So
Yeah.
yes, I struggled to unplug. I am shutting down all coaching and everything next week, except one little call Monday. It's something I couldn't move, but
Yeah.
I'm going to shut down. I am definitely going to try to be in the moment, especially with, the new little grandson and my other grandson. I'm going to try to really be focused. That's why I'm going to make myself get all these gift stuff done before next week. So hold me to that. Send me a text, Kristin.
I will, definitely. I know that is important, right? For us to be present. And like Dr. Marissa was talking about in last week's episode, it doesn't even have to be somebody stepping out and having an affair, right? It can be somebody on their phone constantly that makes people feel like almost like they're being cheated on with technology, right? So I think that's really been resonating with me. Even though that what I do is on my phone, right? Everything I do is on my phone, but I'm trying to be more mindful of so that my kids aren't like, oh, mom's always on her phone.
Yeah. And when I was
having set times.
When I was younger, my mom had a big family. So, and there's some people passed away, so I don't want to talk ill of them, but there's always someone, if you have a large family, there's a black sheep that's going to make somebody miserable at Christmas. It's like they just can't help themselves.
Yeah.
So I'm sure those kind of people don't listen to the podcast. But if you're listening, straighten up and don't think about yourself so much. Don't be selfish. Let other people have a good time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You're welcome.
My sister was a drug addict for 10 years. So she came one Christmas morning. The kids had waited and waited and waited because everyone's like, wait, we need to wait till Kelsey gets here. We need to wait till Kelsey gets here before the kids start opening presents. So here they're waiting and waiting, and they're very young. And she comes hopped up, just like she had just come in off of a bender. And my parents were ignorant to the fact that she was totally on drugs, right? So we had a whole situation at my house one Christmas morning. And so, she's been clean and sober for 9 years now, which is amazing. But I just think it's important for people to know I'm not above that. My family's not above that. We have had our issues. And like you said, Ron, every family has them. Maybe not as extreme as that, but yeah, it's never fun. And if you can self-identify, that's always a bonus.
Yeah. So back to you, Kristin. What's the unspoken pressure people feel around Christmas that no one likes to admit?
I think like I touched on it earlier. I think it's that you are trying to be, I don't want to use the word perfect, but you're trying to be everything for everyone, right? Especially mothers have that because like Like Dave is like, why are you spending so much money? I'm like, how do you think all this stuff gets under the tree? I'm like, my God, this happens. We have the same conversation every December, like literally. So he backed off after he realized, yeah, that's true. But it's one of those things. It's like we're trying to fulfill. I have this pressure because I love thinking about nostalgia, and I want my kids to have those routines that we do every Christmas, right? And so I'm trying to do, like, every Christmas we need to drive around and go look at lights and then walk around and make sure we bring hot chocolate in the mugs and like all these different things that we're doing. And it's special for the kids, so I want to fulfill that, but it's just that pressure that you don't want to let anyone down.
Yeah, and don't you think it's funny? I like this loop that people get in. They like, open mine next, and they open the gift, and they go, do you like it? And then the person, whether they do or not, they didn't give enough body language. And they're like, you don't like it. I should have gotten you. And then I can remember driving home with my mom, and my mom would be like, I should have gotten this person something different. There's just a lot of pressure on the gift thing. And I think, gift. I think the other thing, and Chris and I have tried to help some people. I always try to do that during Christmas. And there is this pressure on people when they're having financial problems because they know other people, the other kids are going to get gifts. And, if you're going through that, I really do feel bad for you. That's a tough thing, and it's a real thing. Yeah. It's reality. So. Yeah,
absolutely. No, that is a tough one. And, I guess, growing up, my parents didn't have a lot of money, but there's some that are, destitute right now. Right. So it's a tough one because I've never necessarily been in that position. So it's hard that, as you can tell by my answers, that's not the first thing that comes to mind for me. And actually, I can't even imagine that would be very, very difficult. I think, even though it's like not a financial issue, we were just recently talking about, because Dave has a really big family. My mom's whole side is really big. We were talking about going back to drawing names, where instead of buying all 6 of her sisters a gift, just draw one name, and then that's who you're buying the gift for, right? It really can just minimize stress.
I would do that in a heartbeat. And you could get a nice gift.
Yes, and that's why you say, okay, you need to spend at least, $50 on it, right? Type of thing. You put a minimum there, so there's some parameters, so someone's not getting something really crappy and the other person's getting something nice, because not everyone has the same taste level. But so you have to put some parameters there. But and we were thinking that for all my husband, his sister and brother, they have a lot of kids, right? So we're thinking of maybe drawing names on that side too, just to make it less stressful for everybody. So you can do that also.
I got one more question that we don't have in our notes.
Okay.
Kristin, as an adult, you get a gift that you loathe. It's so ugly, doesn't fit, whatever it is. Do you fake it and say, oh, that's nice, thank you? How do you handle that?
Of course. I mean, you'd be a complete jackass to do anything but fake it. This is where I'm a big believer in honesty. And sometimes brutal honesty. I would never, if someone went out of their way to get me something and I don't like it, that would never be known. In my mind, I would immediately be giving, like, okay, who could I re-gift this to? That's what I would be doing. You know what I mean? Not like in a jerk way, but like, how am I going to make this still have impact somewhere?
No, I was laughing because you would give that terrible gift to someone else and then you become the person. I'm kidding.
There are different taste levels. So you give it to someone with a low taste level. I know that sounds bad. I mean, what about you, Ron? I hope that you fake it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course I do. I fake it till I make it.
Are you telling me there's people out there that really go, this sucks? Like an adult that says that?
There's some people you can read them. Now,
okay.
I as you know, I don't know if you would call me an expert, but I do a lot of body language and have for years. So I've just seen people that they just can't act at all.
Oh my gosh.
It's not like they say, I hate this, but you look at them and they're like, it's
tell.
micro expressions. You could tell they don't like it.
You know what I like to do, Ron? I like to give someone a gift and I don't give gift receipts because I'm not giving that option to return it or exchange it.
You don't want them to know how much you paid. Tell the truth.
No, I'm literally like, I'm not giving you a gift receipt. I bought this for you. I didn't buy it for you to go, get tender for it. No, that's yours now, baby. You can re-gift it, but no, we're not playing those games. So, yep, that's my MO.
This one's a little more challenging. I've got one more for you.
Oh, okay.
How can people set boundaries during the holidays without feeling guilty?
Are we talking family?
Let's say you're invited to, too many events or parties or whatever it is. How can you set boundaries, Kristin? Or how do you set boundaries? I guess I should say.
Okay. So I think the nice thing is that people my age, there's so many memes out there about it. So I'm in my mid 40s, and we're like, we don't even want to go out after dark anymore. Like, we joke around about this. I don't know. So I have found that when I'm invited to something that I don't necessarily want to go to, maybe it's because I don't want to have to drive 45 minutes at night, right? I literally just say, I just don't think I'm going to be able to make that work. And it's as simple as that. I don't really give an explanation. And I think that more people need to be comfortable with that. If it feels like a major chore to do something, I don't necessarily think going to it is the right thing to do. But I'm kind of brazen at times, Ron. What do you think?
Well, we did a podcast on the power of saying no. But this is ironic. I was on the phone with someone right before you and I. You actually beat me logging in. Please make note of that, people, if you're listening around the world.
Yeah, we should mark that in the show notes.
You should put that in the show notes.
Yeah.
I was on the phone with someone, and literally they were having to cancel something they had already scheduled. And they wanted, number one, my opinion. They wanted me to kind of walk through it with them.
Okay.
But this is someone that struggles setting boundaries and saying no. And so we walked through it. I think it went well. But I said, this person is going to try to talk you into changing your mind. So you got to be ready for that. Yeah. So we did we walked through that as well. That, if you are a little bit passive on that stuff, and then they go, oh, that's no big deal. You can, we'll get that when we get there. We'll do this. They will masterfully try to press you into change your mind. So I said, it's got to be a firm no. You know, like you just said, I'm not going to be able to do that. And then when they say, no, we really want you to, you got to be prepared to go, no.
Yeah, I'm flattered. Thank you. Yeah. But it is not happening. No, I think you're spot on with that. You have to know. I also, though, as you were talking, Ron, I started thinking about it because I get, sometimes, and this happens even with my mom and other family members, we talk about it. We get invited to something and we say yes because, sometimes it is the right thing to do. Okay. There are certain things that it's like your best friend of 40 years, right? You probably should make a point to go to that. Okay. And maybe you're dreading it, but once you get there, generally speaking, for me, there's been many times that I've absolutely dreaded going to something just because I don't want to go. I don't want to leave my house. I don't stay in my house all the time, but I really enjoy hanging out on the couch watching Christmas movies. And once I get there, I'm like, I'm so glad I went. You know what I mean? So you have to sometimes, don't say no to everything, but just set boundaries and don't say yes to everything.
In my decision-making steps I go through with people, I do say, once you've made a decision, embrace it. Go with it.
Exactly.
Don't say what if, I shouldn't have. But I will tell you, I have committed to things that sounded real good in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, that sounded good last month.
Exactly.
But it's upon me. So,
I know. Well, as you know, I'm heading off to the Turning Point event. So it's the America Fest. And I'm going to be there for 48 hours, but it's like so close to Christmas. That's why I didn't go last year. And so I already have 3. I was just talking to you about this. I have 3 events Saturday night alone, and I'm on Media Row. I already have 5 people interviewing me on Media Row. I'm saying yes to them all because that's the right thing. Like, you're there, you need to, make sure that you're being seen, and you're being heard, and you're making an impact, and you're meeting people, right? It sounds exhausting. And then I have 3 events that I have to go to Saturday night that are all at the same time. So for me, this is where you just have to put your head down and go. And you have to have the right headspace. It's like to your point, Ron, yep, I've said yes, and now I'm committed to it, and now I'm going to make the best of it. And I'm not going to waffle because it is what it is. I'm going to be extremely busy all day long. My ankle's going to be swollen up like an elephant. And that's just the truth of it. And, and that I'm going to get through it, and I'm going to fly home Sunday, and I'm going to do it all with a great attitude. So, there's certain things that you just have to put your head down and go on.
I love it. I think that, in just throwing in some gratitude, like how many people would love to be going, and you're going, and not only that, you're apparently a celebrity. I feel kind of humbled that I'm even getting to do a podcast with you. So
you're
that's
funny.
No, really, if you think about it, I told you, year before last, I spoke 6 times in Hilton Head, South Carolina, 6 different presentations to the same group. So you got to be fresh.
Oh,
and
that's
I remember
very
it was
tough.
over a 3-day period. I remember being totally exhausted because I had to work so hard on the presentations.
Yeah.
And it was 3 different federal courts together. So it's a large group. And I remember that pressure, but
Oh, yeah.
I did have to check myself and go, oh my God, you're getting this is your dream. This is what you've been wanting to do, and you're doing it.
Right,
so
right, exactly.
I think we have to do that sometimes. But that's
Yes.
very cool. We're going to be anxious to hear. You got to remember to give us an update when you get back.
Yeah, I sure will. Looking forward to it. Once I get back, I'm not going to be doing anything. I can't wait to sit and do nothing. But it is what it is. You get busy. Set those parameters. It's really important. Don't go to things you absolutely don't want to go to, and be happy.
Yeah, that's right.
Be happy you got an invite, for goodness sake.
Let's be emotional for a moment. Try to work with me here, Kristin.
Okay.
What are you most grateful for this year, personally or professionally? And please don't name me. It will be embarrassing.
You're on the short list, Ron. No, but in all honesty and just being super transparent, I would say my marriage being in such a great place. And that wasn't always the case. It was never severely damaged, but it was just, my husband's a police officer, worked night shift for 12 years. I worked for the bank 5-6 days a week. We were just very compartmentalized, I guess you could say. And we just were like teammates because we didn't have that together time. And we are just in such a great place. And so I'm incredibly, incredibly grateful for that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. What about you, Ron?
I am, of course, I've got a new grandson. I never dreamed.
Oh my gosh.
If you're young, hang on because it goes quickly. But
yeah.
I've got those 2 little guys. And, I had 2 daughters. And I did want a boy. I've told them that over and over. But it is great. The little 6-month-old is just special and precious. And, of course, Nathan and I are BFFs. The older one, we do
How
so
old is
much
Nathan?
Together. He just turned 6.
Such a fun age.
And you can ask my daughter. He's so much like me, it's scary. I feel bad for the guy, but we're a lot alike. So, I'm grateful for that.
Yes.
My daughters, of course, and I am professionally grateful. We've got more coaches getting certified. We're building a pretty major network.
Yeah,
and I've got this vision, but it's been exciting. There's been a lot of rough roads, but it's been exciting when you get something that's just a dream and then you start to see it come to pass. I just drafted a large email and sent before that phone call I was talking about. So
very cool.
To all the different certified coaches.
It's very exciting, Ron. A lot of big things happening.
Yeah, there is.
On that, what lesson did this year teach you that you are carrying into next year?
I'm a little embarrassed about this, but it really did teach me to, there's people use the word manifesting a lot. Mm-hmm. And of course I use faith. But I felt last year because I had so many speaking engagements, you remember, and then the coaching, and I brought in more money way more than the year before. So I got really loose with money, Kristin, do we need this? Do you need, I was rock and rolling, and in my mind, I was like, I'm in the flow here. It's just going to keep coming. It's going to keep growing. And then I looked and, the company my surplus was getting low because I just didn't manage it well. So that, and then also it's easy to glide on your past experiences. Like, I kind of had an inroad with U.S. probation because I was academy director. So August, September, I'm getting calls to come speak and all that stuff. Well, because I didn't get the calls I did earlier in the year, but not later in the year, I started building the foundation of my company, like getting the sam.gov so we can bid on government contracts. All that should have been done 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it because things were coming easily. So I learned to continue to invest in the foundation, continue to build it the right way, and keep an eye on, what's going on. Be very strategic, very deliberate.
Yeah.
So those were big lessons this year.
Yeah, and thank you for your transparency on that, because I know a lot of people, they get really nervous to discuss finances, but it affects every single person, right? So it's really important that we do have those takeaways. And Lord knows I've had them.
What lesson will you take into next year?
I would say for me, so I've been very open about how I have been a director for the homeschool program here locally, and it's been 3 years in a row that I've been directing. And I started feeling my passion for directing kind of fizzling. And I don't I don't do well with a fizzle. I like to have that fire burning hot. And so I immediately took action and asked another mom to take over for me, and she definitely will have that fire to carry the kids through graduation, right, for the next 3 years. And so I would say for me, it's like, instead of when you start dreading something, like I started like, oh, I have to go teach, I have to go prep all this. When you start feeling that, you want to listen to it and either make some adjustments or look for a new opportunity. Or for me, it was just like, I'm going to unload some of my duties or titles, unload them onto somebody else who will do right by the kids and bring that excitement that I brought for the first 2.5 years.
I love it.
Yeah, I think that's important. All right. How about real quick, Ron? How about, want to ask you, because let's just talk about the New Year's for a real quick here. What's one thing you're intentionally letting go? I guess that's like a perfect one for what I just answered.
Yeah, I think
letting go before the new year.
Kristin, the overachieving, when I took the saboteur assessment that you and I discussed, I've taken it 3 times, and I always score pretty high on that overachiever. And I'm trying to give myself grace this coming year. Like, I get these thoughts. I'm not proud of this, folks, but I'm human, so I wanted to build this big coaching network, and I got those thoughts of like, what if you fail? What if this doesn't go? Are you prepared to tell everyone you're going to give up? Or so those kind of thoughts, and it's been that way all my life. Now, once I got promoted to academy director, it's kind of like you reach the pinnacle, because there was not another position I was interested in. That was, believe it or not, the job had pressure, but I was more relaxed because I didn't have to worry about my next promotion or any of that.
Yeah.
So, but when I became an entrepreneur, it all came back. That need to succeed, that drive and all of that. So I want to harness that. Drive is great, but I don't want to be wrestling with the fear of failure that I get sometimes. And so I want to leave that into the negative parts of that. I want to leave that in 2025 and just take my passion into 2026 and go for it.
I love that. I love that, Ron, because I struggle with that myself. And it's just those little voices like, can you really be in a room full of all these people with fancy degrees that are politicians and thises and that's? And it's like, you just have to remember what you personally bring to the table. That's just like, for me, I have to constantly like check myself and be like, you are worthy. You are, of being around these people and being able to have impact and share your ideas and opinions. So yeah, it's a struggle. It's an ongoing struggle. And I think that has to do with, because we're both performers, we're performance driven. I think people that aren't performance driven don't really think about all that. And that shows in their lack of performance, generally speaking.
So I told Kristin, when you walk in the room, find the most important person and just go, hey, would you grab me a coffee, 2 creams and a sugar? And then and everybody's going to go, who is this?
Well, Sunday, that'll be J.D. Vance. I don't know if that would go over too well.
You tell J.D. that I said to get you a coffee.
Oh,
Mr.
my
Vice
goodness
President.
gracious. Yeah, that's going to be fun.
By the way, tell him that I wrote, that my book has Appalachian Mountains in it. And when he got, this is the truth. I've had 2 people ask me if that's him on the cover. If you look at the cover, looks just like J.D. Vance. I'd never heard of J.D. Vance when I wrote my book. Yeah,
you're right. It does. I didn't even
think about that. But it looks
that.
like him. And I'm like, I want to go, why would I put J.D. Vance? He would have been a senator then, or I guess a senator. Why would I put him on the cover of my book? But I've had 2 people ask me that.
Yeah. Well, and of course, me, when I first got it, I was like, is that you, Ron?
Well, he had Hillbillyology, he wrote, so it was really a good book. But I didn't know about that book either when I was developing. So, anyway.
That's amazing. This has been good. I appreciate you putting this together. It's a fun, lighthearted, digestible episode, and I get to know you too, which I think is always fun. So I appreciate that, Ron.
Yeah, me too. This was really good. And if you're listening to us and there's a lot of pressure on you for Christmas, take some breaths.
Yeah.
And try to just be deliberate. And if there is negative things, it's going to pass. December 26th always comes. And but try to enjoy. I always say have micro moments. If there's a big situation going on, at least have some micro moments. And then if you've got loss or you're hurting, try to not. I always tell people, don't think of the end of their story, but cherish the positive parts.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And try to do that if you've suffered loss. But
I think so too. And I just have to say, for someone I'm a controller. I like to control my environment, and I've worked tirelessly over the years on letting go of control. And I think it really started, once you have kids, you realize how little control you truly have of the way the day is going to go or the hour. That needs to be the same during Christmas as well. Like, there are going to be things, maybe you had envisioned something going a certain way. There are things that are not going to go the way you had envisioned, and you have to just let it go. Don't drag everyone down because your vision didn't come to fruition.
Yeah.
Just let it go and keep enjoying the moment.
Yeah. Good. I can't add anything to that. Good job.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Speaking from the heart here. All right, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Have happy holidays. I guess there's one more episode that comes out. No? Is this? No, this is it before Christmas, right?
It'll be on Christmas Day, I guess.
Oh, my goodness.
We got to figure that out, Kristin.
Yeah, I just thought about that. I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Excellent.
Merry Christmas and be the leader you're meant to be.
We'll see you next week.
The Dirty Side of Leadership podcast is brought to you by Forward Operations. If you'd like to book Ron or Kristin for speaking events, training, or executive coaching, visit forwardoperations.com. Be the leader you're meant to be.